Angel Reese recently called herself the Michael Jordan of women's basketball, and her reaction to the trade from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream has been explosive. The trade, in which Chicago received 2 future late first-round draft picks and a second-round swap for Reese, sparked immediate backlash from fans. They quickly labeled the trade a bargain bin deal, given the minimal return for such a talented player. So why would a team part with a 2-time All-Star for practically nothing? The answer lies in the behind-the-scenes drama that led to Reese's exit and her fiery reaction to it all.
The Chicago Sky trade Angel Reese for a bag of Skittles. Or a bag of magic beans or whatever. A bag of Skittles is what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. We got a Skittles. We got a bag of Skittles.
The turning point in the relationship between Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky came during the 2025 season, when Reese made public comments to the Chicago Tribune. She stated that the Sky needed great players, calling it a non-negotiable requirement. Instead of addressing these concerns privately, she went straight to the media, publicly airing her dissatisfaction with the team. Chicago responded harshly, suspending her for half a game and officially labeling her comments as detrimental to the team. This was the breaking point. The Sky had clearly reached their limit with Reese's behavior and decided to make a change.
I find it odd that the Chicago Sky would jettison her after just 2 years. I think that speaks to what a headache she was in Chicago. Teammates didn't want to play with her. Coaches couldn't corral her. She was out there doing her double-double routine while the Chicago Sky were actually trying to win games or run an offense, and Angel Reese was just out there chasing stats.
Before the suspension, tensions had been rising within the team for some time. One of the key incidents occurred when veteran point guard Courtney Vanderloot suffered an injury. Instead of rallying behind her teammate, Reese publicly criticized Vanderloot, calling her old and implying she was washed up. This kind of public criticism of a respected veteran did not sit well with the locker room or with the fans. Furthermore, sources within the organization reported that Reese had issues with her frontcourt partner, Camila Cardoso. Cardoso reportedly walked out on Reese, stating that her behavior was causing instability in the locker room. At this point, it was clear that the situation with Reese had deteriorated far beyond a simple personality clash. It had become an ongoing problem.
Can't rely on Courtney to come back at that age that she's at, Reese said. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before. Courtney Vandersloot, by the way, 2-time WNBA champion, 5-time All-Star, 2-time All-WNBA first team, left the New York Liberty, a championship caliber team, to come help out the Chicago. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, dang. Oh, damn. It's all right, Courtney.
Reese's issues weren't confined to the Sky. Throughout her career at Maryland, LSU, and Chicago, she had developed a reputation for stirring up controversy. Whether it was flagrant fouls or clashes with teammates, Reese often found herself at the center of drama. One particularly notable incident came in 2025, when she got into a heated altercation with Caitlin Clark. Both players received technical fouls during the game, but after the game, Reese took to social media and framed the incident as being about discrimination. This public outburst surprised her teammates, who weren't expecting such a reaction. It was a sign that Reese's relationship with both her teammates and the league was strained.
About this Camila Cardoso last night is you seeing her visibly giving up on her team here. Look at this. Look at this. Camila Cardoso literally walking towards the New York Liberty bench. Walking towards the New York Liberty bench. Like, hey, Brianna, Sabrina, scoot over a little bit. Let me take a seat. Hey, Sandy, is there any room on the bench for me? Can you guys use an extra player? Can I switch jerseys and see how I fit on this team?
As the 2025 season continued, Reese began citing a back injury, but the timing of her absences was suspicious. The absences seemed to coincide with times when internal accountability conversations were getting louder within the Sky organization. It was during one of these absences that Reese was spotted dancing on a private jet in Las Vegas, which further raised doubts about the legitimacy of her back injury. Chicago had already mentally moved on from Reese, knowing that managing her presence on the team was becoming more trouble than it was worth. Despite her impressive rebounding stats, her off-court distractions were starting to outweigh her on-court contributions.
They traded her for a bag of Cheetos. They wanted to get rid of her so bad. Angel Reese, I see a lot of people from the Atlanta area chanting it on, "Oh, Angel, welcome home, welcome home." I hope some of you keep it real about the disaster she played a part in causing in Chicago.
With Reese moving to the Atlanta Dream, the situation only gets more complicated. The Dream's front court was already crowded, with Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones playing key roles. Adding Reese to the mix creates a front court that is slow and crowded, especially when facing teams like the Indiana Fever that rely on speed and floor spacing. Atlanta now has 3 players who can't shoot from the perimeter: Griner, Jones, and Reese. This creates a massive spacing issue, which could be problematic against teams that excel in fast-paced play and long-range shooting.
The Atlanta Dream now look like a team on paper with Ryan Howard, with Alicia Gray, with Brittany Griner, and now the league's top rebounder added to their roster. Atlanta should, and I think they won. I think they went 30-14 last season. Atlanta should be a title contender, although I'm very suspicious because I think Angel Reese is a poison and a toxin that has been added to that locker room.
On the flip side, the Indiana Fever is already a well-functioning team. With Caitlin Clark returning to full health and a supporting cast that has stepped up in her absence, the Fever are primed to capitalize on Atlanta's weaknesses. The Fever already have an efficient offense and strong team chemistry, which gives them an advantage when facing teams like the Dream. Atlanta will have a tough time keeping up, especially when they're struggling with defensive gaps and offensive spacing. This gives the Fever a clear edge heading into the 2026 season.
This would be my advice to those young ladies that you mentioned, right, on that new Atlanta team of hers. Get ready to stick your hands out like this and never get the ball. Because she's going to get the rebound, get another rebound, get another rebound, another rebound, and another me-bound. And there's going to be, I'm fascinated by this in this sense. And Scap, I'm going to watch some highlight clips of Atlanta starting this season. I'm going to watch the body language of those teammates when that happens.
In Atlanta, the front court issue isn't just about offense. It's also a significant problem on the defensive end. With 3 non-shooting bigs, Griner, Jones, and Reese, Atlanta's defense will struggle against teams that can space the floor and shoot from the perimeter. Teams like the Fever, with players such as Kelsey Mitchell and Sophie Cunningham, will have an easier time getting open looks, as they can move and shoot without needing much space. The Dream's defensive strategy will need to adapt quickly to avoid getting exploited by fast, perimeter-oriented teams.
They put them on sale. Oh, that's right, folks. Already, Angel Reese's jerseys are on sale, but luckily for Atlanta, they've already sold out. That's right, they've already sold out. The 25 jerseys that they've manufactured have already flown off the racks. Small, medium, large, extra large, double XL. They made 5 of each. It was an exclusive, and they are already sold out.
As the season approaches, one of the biggest questions surrounding Atlanta is how the front court rotation will work. With Griner, Jones, and Reese all competing for minutes, managing playing time will be critical. The Dream's coaching staff will need to find a way to keep all 3 players engaged without disrupting the team's overall rhythm. It will also be interesting to see how Atlanta addresses the spacing issues created by having 3 non-shooting bigs on the floor at once.
When Angel Reese is due for a contract extension and the Atlanta Dream don't give her a max deal, she's going to go somewhere else. So you might want to hold on to that, actually. You'll get the Chicago Sky jersey, the Atlanta Dream jersey. You might be collecting Angel Reese jerseys like they are infinity stones.
For Chicago, the decision to trade Reese looks better in hindsight. While the return may seem underwhelming, 2 future late first-round picks, the Sky gained something far more valuable: flexibility. Chicago has decided to move on from the drama that Reese brought to the team. The Sky's front office has chosen to rebuild, and the picks they received give them an opportunity to plan for the future. While these picks may not yield immediate results, they provide the Sky with the flexibility to make moves in the years to come.
With that value return for Angel Reese, man, that's a fleece job if ever I've seen one. And Jason, I'm with you. She is going to be the locker room team cancer. I think whatever they had going last year, that's just going to go down the wayside now with Angel in the locker room.
There's never been a team at Maryland, at LSU, and the Chicago Sky where she didn't have some sort of locker room problem with her teammates. People don't enjoy playing with her.
The decision to trade Reese also highlights the Sky's desire to create a more stable and cohesive team. Reese's rebounding skills were never in question, but her ability to function within the team's offensive system was. Her lack of perimeter shooting and tendency to dominate the ball created issues for Chicago's spacing and offensive flow. In the end, Chicago decided that her talents didn't justify the internal friction she was causing. The trade was less about her on-court performance and more about the Sky's long-term vision.
Oh, and you also quit on the team in year one. Year two, it was even more of a circus. Oh, we're trying to play Angel Reese at point forward. Complete clown show. Whose idea was that? That was awful. You quit on the team again. They suspended you for a half for conduct detrimental to the team. You warmed up, and then when it was time for you to play in the second half, you refused to go in the game, and then you refused to suit up for the remainder of the season.
To the trade with mixed emotions. On one hand, many were excited about the potential Reese brings to the team. Merchandise sales spiked, and ticket prices surged almost immediately. However, there were plenty of fans who were skeptical. The biggest question on everyone's mind was how Atlanta planned to balance the minutes of their frontcourt players. With 3 non-shooting bigs, how would the Dream manage to create space and run effective offensive sets? The excitement was tempered by real concerns about how Reese's addition would impact the team's overall dynamic.
Quit on the team, and the same day as the final game, when your back's apparently hurt, which is why you have been sitting out, you're on a private jet on the way to Vegas twerking and having a ball as if your back never hurt it. You quit on the team. You threw Courtney Vandersloot under the bus, and she had to get on camera and respond to you. You threw Ariel Atkins under the bus. Nobody wanted to deal with you.
Meanwhile, Chicago fans felt vindicated by the trade. Many longtime supporters of the Sky felt that the team made the right decision to move on from Reese, not because she couldn't play, but because her presence was creating internal friction. The Sky's front office was clear in their desire to move on, and while the trade return wasn't ideal, it gave Chicago the flexibility they needed to build a more cohesive team. The decision to part with Reese was a signal that Chicago was ready to move forward and focus on the future.
He's about to be an Olympian, and they get traded before their 3rd season. You can't. That's bad. That's how bad of a locker room cancer she was. That does not happen. In 2 years, you were a 2-time All-Star and you're about to be an Olympian, and they traded you. Scott, they traded her. Atlanta's going to be good. Those picks aren't going to mean much. It'll be like the 13th, 14th pick. You're not getting nothing there. Most of those picks don't even make the team.
For the Indiana Fever, the trade didn't change much. The Fever are already a well-rounded team, and with Clark returning to full health, they are poised to continue their dominance. The Fever's coaching staff has done an excellent job of ensuring the team is well prepared, even without Clark at times. They know how to close out games, and with the addition of players like Boston and Mitchell, the Fever have a team that can go toe-to-toe with anyone. The Dream will need to be at their best to compete with Indiana's elite roster.